Hey guys, Tony here. I will be doing S&P 500 TA, but I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to start doing these TAs from scratch. I don't like doing them from scratch just because it takes a lot longer to actually set all the points. But if that's what you guys like and you guys are willing to sit through these videos, then that's great, right? I mean, the more you guys watch, the better, and especially if you guys are watching on YouTube, you know, I get like more attention, like the video and stuff, and YouTube will pay me more money and stuff, right? But I mean, if you guys are fine just watching me do this and explain to you guys how I do my TA on every single TA, that's completely fine with me. I'm trying to see if everybody's actually gonna stay on, to like actually watch the videos and stuff. I don't want people saying, "Oh yeah, make the TA and stuff," and then everybody just kind of signs off, right? But I guess just to kind of start, let me actually let me zoom in here so I can show you guys, right? So the way that I trade, it's called Confluence. And it basically the way that I set my price zones are, I set them based off of the wicks. But I set them based off the week chart, especially if something's been trading for a long time. If something's relatively new, I tend to use the day chart. But I do like using the weekly chart for price zones, just because I do think that obviously they have a stronger resistance and support, right? Especially when it's a weekly chart, the weak price zones have a stronger like a stronger section of price where it'll actually rebound or it'll top off and it'll bounce down, right? So I actually do this by looking at the wicks. I mean, wherever there's a bunch of wicks in the same area, that's where I tend to set my price zones, right? So right now you see there's a wick here, and then a wick here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place it so it's just touching all these wicks, like around right there. That's gonna be the first one. Second one, I mean, I usually tend to go from bottom to the top. So from top to bottom. I don't like usually going from bottom to top because it's really just his preference, honestly. But it doesn't really matter, So I mean, down here we'll see that there's a wick right here, wick right here, wick, wick right here. So let's see if we can touch them all together. Oh, actually, let me see. I think these will be fine. We'll touch all these together right. I think that works right there. So we'll. What the heck? Did I click? Oh, I think I accidentally clicked the. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. So we'll do this. We'll do that, and we don't need to go all the way back here to set our price zones. It really is only like the most recent, right? So this is back in November over here. We really only need to focus on like one section, which is like this section right here. You don't need to set a bunch of price zones, right? Like I usually tend to go back 2-3 months to set everything up, because you don't need to have a bunch of lines letting you, oh, this is where you should take this is where you should actually take the sells, the buys, all that stuff. Like you don't need all these different lines, right? You don't need all that stuff. I usually only go back about 2 to 3 months, and I kind of set everything there. So is this a good spot? Let's actually go from here. So it seems like this would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm hitting 3 right there. There. Actually, I'll do right. There's another spot right there. And then we'll go from down here and we'll set the next line. So we'll do this one, this one, this one, this one. We'll go up here. Seems like a good spot to put it. We'll do the ones that stand out. So we'll do like this spot right here. It seems to be hitting a bunch of wicks, so we'll put one right there. And then we do have another set of this little section right here where we're hitting this wick, this wick, this wick, and this wick. So we'll set it right where it hits all of them, kind of in the center. We'll do it like right there. That seems to be solid places to actually put them. And I mean, you can put Fibonacci's too to kind of help you out. And the way that Fibonacci's work is basically from relative low to relative high, right? So we can use Fib really anywhere. But it's just, I usually tend to use it on the day chart just because I think it's a little bit more accurate than using it on the weekly. And we'll do this, right? We'll do this. We'll set it to the low, which was right there. This, we're actually setting it to this wick right here, right? So let me see, I'll do it this way. So the low is right there. You know, you can see that it was actually hitting the top. It actually hit the top of here. It bounced off the, what is this? The 6110 level, I think. I don't like using fibs all that much just because I do think that it kind of, you know, messes up. Not necessarily messes up, but I think that there's too many things going on, right? So I think there's too many things going on to where I don't like using the fibs all that much, and I kind of just go off the indicators. But I mean, just looking at the actual day chart right here, it's not looking good, especially on the MACD, right? Like we already finished our positions, finished everything that we're looking at as far as what's you know, as far as where it's actually price is actually being tested or retested, right? So as of right now, we did close above the 388 level, which is obviously it's a weekly support zone, right? So really depending on where we actually close above this or under this is going to determine a lot this week. Because if we actually close on the day under this and we create a full bear candle, 100%, I think we're going all the way back down to 384. And then again, when we hit this 384 line, if we create another bear candle under this and we close, we're going all the way back down to 378. And all the indicators support a bearish movement. Look at the stochastic. Way overbought. It's way creating tops over here, right? So I can easily see this going all the way back down. Again, with the MACD. Let me see if I can take this off. Again, with the MACD, it's looking like we're going straight down. Like everything is looking for, you know, everything is basically looking at bearish movement, right? On the 4-hour chart, it does look like we just crossed that 4-hour bearish, and the stochastic is looking to barely create bottoms, right? So it's not really, and the last time we actually created anything was back in March 4th, right? So that's not too long ago, but we created that bottom in March 4th, and we actually rebounded off of that price, right? So I do think minimum we are going to keep going down till we hit this, till the stochastic hits this 25 level and then rebound off that. But that basically means that there's a solid chance that we keep dropping all the way to 384, right? And even on the MACD, it still looks pretty bearish. And on the week chart, we actually just crossed over on the bearish side. But the thing is, though, when it comes to being in bearish territory, especially for the MACD recently, it does look like we've only been bearish for 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 weeks or so, maybe only a month. And even then, we tend to rebound off of price. Even in that bearish section for the MACD, we just kind of tend to consolidate around the same place, right? So I think that might be happening again here. So we've been 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do think this next week might actually be the last bearish week. Honestly, I think that at most we might drop to 384 and then probably rebound all the way back to 394. But it really depends on what this day chart actually does, because if we go down to 384 and we close under that, there's a really big chance that we're going to keep going all the way down to 378. So as of right now, I am pretty bullish because I do think that we're dropping down to 384. So let me see. I mean, just to kind of make it easier for you guys to understand, you know, I do think we're going to do this. We're dropping here. And then depending on what happens this week, we can either drop all the way down to 378. We can either keep dropping all the way down to 378, or we can basically rebound off of this price and go back up to 388, cross that, and then start moving towards 384 or 394, right? But it really depends on the momentum here and the strength of the bullish or the bearish side. So yeah, it's not looking good, honestly. I mean, it does look like we're gonna keep going down. The last time, like I told you guys previously, the last time we actually crossed on the day chart, let's see, we were right here. We'll do right when we crossed the MACD to peak lows, we did a 4% drop, right? So from peak high to peak low, We did a 4% drop after we actually dropped on the MACD. We'll do the same thing here. It looks like we might. It looks like we might touch the MACD somewhere around the 388 price, and we did it in 10 days, right? So, what the heck? So forecast. Let me do the forecast, right? We'll do it right here. So 10 days from here, right? So 10 days, 4, 7, 8, 9, whatever, 10. And we did a 15 point drop. So 15-point drop. Oof, that doesn't look nice at all. 1553. So I think if we are looking at, the most previous instance of that day chart being on the bearish side, it does look like we can drop all the way back down to that 374 area. And it does look like that's a big possibility right now. So as of right now, I think I'm more, I don't know, man. I think I'm more, I don't know if I'm actually bearish or bullish right now. I think it all depends, really. I can't give like a huge sentiment of what I think is going to happen. But because, I mean, even back here, we created, there's a lower low, then there's the higher high, there's a lower high, and then there's a higher high right here, right? So I think there's a chance that we might bounce off, just this area. I think there's a chance that we might actually bounce off right here and go upwards. But I think the most probable thing is that, after we cross that day MACD towards the bearish side, there's a solid chance we might go all the way back down to 374, create double bottoms, and then head right back to 394. So I do think there's a huge chance of actually happening, and I'd be super comfortable buying SPY puts for like the next month out, just to kind of play this, right? I do think there's a huge chance that we drop all the way down to 374, bounce off that, and then rally back to 394. Yeah, man, it's everything that's going on right now for the SPY. It's just everything is supporting a bearish move, which is kind of scary. So yeah, as of right now, I think I'm still bearish. I'm not bearish long term, but I'm still bearish on the short term. Am I bearish all the way down to 374? I think so, man. I think from what the actual TA is showing me, it looks like we're dropping back to 374. We might create double bottoms there and shoot back up, or you might see a pretty heavy drop. A good indication of when to actually sell is looking at the MACD along with the fractals, right? So a fractal is this little red, like a little red price zone that gets created, which is right here. You see these little red triangles? A good indication of when to actually sell or buy is when the MACD is actually negative, or it's when on the bearish side, and a fractal gets created on the day candle, right? So you guys can see here, obviously, it's more of like a clear signal. Fractal gets created. You have the MACD on the bearish side down here, and obviously you're buying that put at the top. You're selling all the way down on 374. Same thing up here. As soon as we cross on the day chart towards the bearish side on the SPY, if there's a fractal that gets created, that's on the red fractal that gets created when the MACD is red, I'm 100% buying puts. That's just the way it is. That's what I'm doing, right? But yeah, it does look like we're going back down to 374. I'm not saying it's a huge possibility, but as of right now, I am short-term bearish as opposed to being long-term bearish. I don't think so. But it does look like we're going down, so that kind of sucks. I'll see you guys later.